All right, and we're back. I think the video crashed on that. If it happens, it'll crash from time to time. Let me see. I'll get it going here on. I'll get the chat going on my phone, and that way, if I'm not tabbing in and out, it won't crash as much either. All right. So what we were doing there, we've got the bus going. Got to reload the satellite dish. And I think we're ready. Oh, and then paint. I was going to think about painting. The color scheme. I don't know. Should I do like the blue camouflage? Blue camouflage or all right, let's okay, so what do I want to take out of here first? Let's get the tractor out of here. Oh, oh man, this boss is crazy. Yeah, this bus needs to be... Something is wrong here. Was that the brakes? W and S are the brakes. Let's change that. Up and down. There, maybe that'll help. Yeah, good morning, Sir Horn there. I don't know, it crashed, so. It crashed. I think this will work. I hope it works. Let's see. Turn that on. Systems. Yeah, always something to calibrate. Oh, there's the cameras button. All right, systems. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's a lot better. The engine doesn't like that, though. Engine doesn't like the one-to-one. There we go. That's a lot better. Nice. All right, so the bus needs a paint job now. Maybe some more stuff on the inside. All right, enough of this. Let's load up the satellite and go to space. See if I can get the thing to be stable. Oh. Whoops. All right, sign. Let's see. Oh, it was that long ago, was it? Yeah, I'll have to invest in a better headset here that doesn't... The USB headsets are all the same. It's just the way Windows handles audio, I find. If you have the non-USB headsets and you go through a sound card, it doesn't seems to have way less problems that way. So I have a sound card, I just don't have a headset that can go through it anymore. I had one and it kind of bit the dust. So I guess I should probably pick one up. Maybe I'll do that here this weekend. What's that? 3 is the brakes. Oh. All right. This one. And this one. Here. And yeah, you know what? Let's see. Do all that all over again? Yeah, let's do it all over again. All right, let's quit to the menu then. Everything seems to work. I'll load up a fresh world without disasters. and we'll put space on. And this will be our creative space. So let's see. We'll go custom, and we are gonna start at let's start at this one, this airstrip, because it doesn't have a mountain on it when you land. And we may as well enable. We don't really need the explosions. We do want to enable industrial frontier just so we have that island, I guess. All right, that'll work. Oh, and then enabled add-ons. Then we want to go into here and we want to enable turn default creatures off so there's no monsters, hopefully. Because I don't have weapons turned on. So if we get hit by a Kraken, then let's see, underwater mission zones. Get rid of the tutorial. Now, where is the natural disasters? Just turn that off, and then the frequency. Oh, you can turn bollards off. Okay, I never use them. They're awful. If they were winches instead of bollards, then I'd use them every time. All right, that should be good. We'll just load into there. Oh, disable enemies and then have the weapons. Right, I see. Okay, that's cool. All right. We'll see how we go. So we'll turn infinite fuel on this one. And then that way we'll see. Well, I'll try it without infinite fuel first so we can calibrate the satellite. But once everything's going, we'll turn on infinite fuel and then we'll start building the space station. That's going to be neat. I'm just curious how, like, I'm going to find... Okay, there's a transponder that you can use to locate things on the planet. But we don't have a space transponder. So the only thing I can think of is put a radio antenna on the space station or module and have it send out a ping. And whenever you get close to it, you'll be able to read that ping and then you'll know you're close to the object. That's the only way I know how we're going to be able to find the space station in space. All right, we don't want shoes. I'm gonna go to space without shoes. It's perfect. All right, so and then we're gonna come in here in the custom menu, turn vehicle damage off. And we'll turn wind down. A little bit of rain, it's nice. And wind direction. Yeah, all right. Evacuate civilians. Nice. Door panel is on fire. So, what am I looking for? Creative menu. Unlock all properties, reveal the map. Turn that off. All right. You can get a GPS coordinate in space, actually, yeah, because I have the map in the spaceship. I thought that was really cool. I was checking it out. Oh, the autosave. I was checking it out. The GPS actually does work in space. So they gave us all that yieldier stuff, which you can use to triangulate a position. But you're right, you don't actually need it because you can get a GPS coordinate. This right here, the map. If I turn that to 5 and zoom out, as we go into space, it continues to zoom out, and where I'm centered is where this is. So I guess you're right. I could put a GPS on the satellite, and I could get its GPS position. And then I would know roughly where to launch. Yeah, and then I could use my autopilot. Actually, I could connect the autopilot to it, and then I could connect the autopilot to the roll and the. Wouldn't that be insane? But it would work. It would work. All right, maybe in a couple of days I'll decide to do that. That's a lot of work. It'll work, but that's a lot of work. But then you'll be able to go to space, punch in the coordinate of the space station, and the autopilot will take you there. Nice. All right, let's get this stuff out of here. It'll work. The only area where you can't get a coordinate is on the moon because the moon has its own map. But if you're in space and you press the M button, there's no special map for between the Earth and between the moon. Though that could change. That could change. All right, so this is going in with that. That way it stays in. This thing's nice and stable. I'm going to get a spacesuit. Alrighty, let's see. We want that to go out. Let's see. We'll get the bus. Yeah, let's get the bus out of there now. Let's see. We'll keep the brakes on here. We'll turn this one off, and then we can pull the satellite, and then the. Yeah, okay, that'll work. So let's get this out of here. It's sliding for some reason, and I think it's sliding because of this. These antennas, these large antennas, are shaking it. So that's why brakes are really important. Once you put the parking brake on, the vehicle won't move. All right, let's see. Put the hazards on. Turn the sign on. It's going, yeah. All right. Let's see if it'll drive in. Barely. Is it? It doesn't have any bearing on the vehicle whatsoever, hey? It must be something. Maybe it's the magnets wobbling then. It's got to be something moving the vehicle. Yeah, it could be the magnets actually. I was curious because I thought, okay, well if it's wiggling around and I go to space and I launch the satellite, which is really light, is that antenna going to cause the satellite to wiggle? That's good to know. It's good to know. All right, so we'll turn the parking brake on. Put the bus into idle. Yeah. And okay. That's good. That'll idle forever. Oh, it's rolling away. Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute, bus. Where are you going? Are you rolling away still? Good. It's good now. It's good now. All right, now we need to get the satellite out of there. All right, let's see. So if I want to pick this guy up, so when I load it, it's like that's gonna be on this side. Is that right? When I bring it in, yeah, that's gonna be on that side. And this one. Which way do I want it twisted here? That's the back side. So if I come in, that's the front. So like that. This side here. And this one here. And this one here should be this one here. And this one here should be this one here. Maybe. Alright, hopefully that's right. My brain doesn't want to work. Alright, let's lift that up. Close. I've got the back ones crossed. Oh, that's alright. Does the job. Okay. I'll go right across is what I'll do with the satellite. I'll come right across. Yeah, I have even the big ship that I have. If you put a rope on the one side of it, it'll capsize. The big blue city. I don't know why all these vehicles are just sliding around all of a sudden. There is something very strange going on here. Oops. All right. Turn this thing off. And let's go open the door. Yeah. Yeah, it's a Stormworks thing. I'm cool with it. It's just funny, that's all. It was so far away. If I didn't get it in time, it would have glitched into the wall, and I would have had to respawn everything. That's all. So now I know I gotta park. I gotta park. All right. Let's see. Start this thing up. All right. This has to be right in there. You have to come straight on with this. Whoa, 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 whoa. Or else. Whoa. It's neat because this is how I'm going to be loading the heavy aircraft, which is so cool. All right, if we just reverse this just a little bit here, just a little bit. Oh, there, see it clicked. Perfect. Turn the brakes on. And then, yeah, I could just disconnect the ropes like that. That'll work. Cool. Well, that was easy. The second time went a lot better than the first time. Oh. All right, let's turn this thing off. Nice. Yeah, see, we're not compressed. It's the weight. The weight of that satellite it's heavy. All right. Yeah, that's how I'll be loading the airplanes. That's going to be so cool. Okay. So now we're ready to go to space. We'll put this inside. Oh, the mouse wheel. Okay, perfect. That's good to know. Let's see, what am I doing here? Oh, yes, we're going to close the door. Okay. Get this ready. Ready for takeoff. All right, let's get this tractor out of the way. Let's check our alignment. Yeah, it's a bit better. We can take off from here. That's probably why the boom wasn't locked. That makes sense. If you have any moving parts, they have to be locked into place. All right, we are ready to go to space again. I'm going to save this as takeoff. Takes a while. It takes a while to get prepped. What was that? Another hour? Yeah, another hour. It takes 45 minutes to get prepped. Now we're ready to go. Oh boy. The yawn, eh? Like 2 hours, but everything's ready. The pack is ready. Everything works. All right. All right, I won't pause my microphone this time because it might crash the stream. But I am gonna go make some coffee, and I will be right back. All right. Ready to go to space. Let me see. Good. Hopefully, I can. Hopefully the stream didn't crash. There we go. No, okay, good. Hopefully, turn the brakes off. Fuel pump systems. Let's see. We'll turn this to 8. We'll just do a hard. We'll do a hard takeoff here. I think that's all I need for now. That's it. Up we go. What's going on here? Something's going on. Ooh, I wonder if that's... That works. But my 1, 2, 3, and 4 don't work. Uh-oh. Why is that? Yeah, why doesn't that work? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We're experiencing... I did all that, and then that... My X controls have been disconnected? I wonder what I did. Oh, man. Stabilizers don't want to work. All right. Well, let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, and 4 are your X, Y, and Z. So on the nose of the rocket, there are 4 rockets. Let's see, how can I explain this? And when you're taking off, there's forces on the front. Here, I'll explain it here because I gotta figure it out now. The seat's been disconnected. Or something's been disconnected here. when I moved these tanks around, yes, that's exactly what it was. Oh man, this is air instead of hydrogen, and this one is air instead of oxygen. That's exactly what it was. I had to fit this reaction wheel in here because when we're in space, the ship wants to spin this way. And the one reaction wheel that I put here wasn't sufficient, so I had to go way back here, and I thought, where can I fit the reaction wheel? So I had to turn these two tanks. Look, there's barely enough room. I had to turn these two tanks. So yeah, so the X, Y, and Z, oh, I'm going to have to do that all over again. All right, well, anyways, let's save that. That's why the rocket didn't work. It wasn't getting any fuel. Okay, now everything should work. Let me update that on the workshop. Oh, my. I'll explain it again here. All right, so this rocket here and these two rockets here are like your X, Y, and Z. So the rocket has two modes. One, takeoff and I guess takeoff stability. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. So all right, so 1, 2, 3, and 4 is your, there, you see that? X. So when I'm in space and I want to rotate the aircraft, I can just use these thrusters and I can spin the craft wherever I want. Now what I've done is that's the rockets. Then when I press this button here, the RCS, I should be able to do the same thing with the, uh-oh. Was there a button for that? Maybe there was a button for that. Oh yeah, now the systems is active. Okay, so now when I push that button, there, you see how the RCSs are active now? Through the same seat. So the seat controls the rocket controlled thrusters, and it controls with the push of a button, whichever you need. If you need more thrust in this direction, then it's got that covered. Yeah. So when it takes off, I just push the stabilizer button, and what it'll do is it has a couple of tilt sensors in it, right there in the nose, and it just measures the tilt. And if it tips too much, then it'll fire, and that's what keeps the easy takeoff, basically. So I'll spawn it back in. Oh, I gotta do that all over again. All right, well, at least this time we'll be able to take off without any issues. All right, let's get this out of the way then. Yeah, pitch stabilizer. Because all the thrust for the rocket is on the bottom of the rocket. And you're going up. So the top of the rocket, the forces on the top of the rocket are wanting to go to the side. So you have to counter those forces in order to get the rocket to shoot straight up into space. And so that's what I've done with those rockets on the nose of the aircraft. As we launch straight up into space, the rockets will fire in opposite directions of the forces, keeping you straight as we go up and cut through the atmosphere. I learned that when I got the trash can, when I got the trash can to go, because it's so smooth. The landing with that thing is so, you just push a button and it turns and lands. It's crazy. And it's so big too. It's huge. I think the flight time to the moon is like 45 minutes of non-stop rocket power. 45 minutes of non-stop rocket power. It's crazy. So yeah. I think I recorded most of it. I have a couple of early videos where I was testing just the rocket engine itself to see what, to try and get try and scale it, like how much fuel it would take to launch, what weight can it take, and stuff like that. So there's a couple of early videos I have that you, if you're curious, where I go over that, how I tried to figure out where I'm at now. All right. Oh, the red line is supposed to be the height of the deck on the inside of the aircraft, but it's not for some reason. It was 15 blocks. I measured 15 blocks up. It was so I could calibrate the winches, right? So I knew how tall I needed to lift the aircraft or whatever, the object to fit. So I don't know, something's wrong. But yeah, it's just in alignment for that. Maybe the, what am I trying to say? Maybe the satellite is heavy and it pulls on the strings a little bit too much. So it sags, so I can't get it above the red line. Right, so in order for the crane to spawn inside this thing, we can only go so high with it. So this is the maximum height we can make the crane. So I got lucky. I really got lucky that everything was designed the way that it was. That I didn't have to change anything. Otherwise, nothing would fit. And that's why I tried to make a forklift. They could clamp onto the craft and then lift it high up. But as you saw, the tracks, they're okay, but they have their limits, right? They have their limits. So you kind of gotta, you just have to work within that. And so this is it. This is what I came up with anyhow. Seems to work all right. Oh, I'll try the mouse wheel. Yeah, next time here. I should add a couple more boxes down below. Yeah, it's a little low. See the red line there? It's a little low. It could go up about 3 blocks. And maybe that was me. Maybe I miscounted. Probably. Alright, so when I pick this up, I want that to be... I crossed these over the last time. That's got to be there. No, 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 no. I crossed it the last time. That's got to be there, and then that one's got to be on that side. And this one is going to be there. And this one, it's going to twist that way. There. All right, I think that's it. Cool. So now on the moon, we're going to need similar equipment so we can unload the airplane, and we're going to have to figure out how to get all that equipment to the moon. All right. Hopefully we can get the... let's see, we'll connect that first, then I'll turn the brakes off. Yeah, if there's a better way to do the crane. That'd be cool. All right. All right, now we are ready. I'm just going to launch. I'm not even going to take a break this time. I'm just going to launch. We're just going to go. We're going to go. We're going to go right to space. Did I turn the brakes off? I think I did. Double check that. We're going to load and go. All right. Yeah, I should have a secondary down here for the brakes. That's a good idea. That's a real good idea. Okay, so what I need to do, open the loading door. Let's see here. Open the loading door. Load the satellite. Take off. All right. Landing lights. Door open. Brakes are on. All right. Oh, I better turn this thing off. Right, so if we were to do this without infinite fuel, you'd need like 3 or 4 hours of fuel in the module just so it could stay in space in order for you to do a round trip. You just couldn't do it. Then you'd have to refuel. You factor in refueling as well. So the system just needs to be, it just needs a rethink a little bit, I think, in some areas. It's good, but it just needs a little, some fine tuning for us players. Yeah, what might end up having to do is just send a rocket, crash land a rocket which has the heavy equipment in it to the moon, so that way we can load and unload the base there. I'll have to figure something out. Yeah, see, the red line was supposed to be the dock line there, but I'm off by 1, off by 2. So it's no big deal, but it just, this is as high as I can make the crane so it can spawn inside. Maybe if it had a couple more winches on it, or if the anchor points on the satellite dish were further out, yeah, that's what needs to happen. If it's on the 4 corners, I can lift the satellite even higher, and then it'll be easier to load and unload. Okay, that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, but that's not this test. This test is... We're testing if we can launch our launch capabilities. So... I like that I have to load it every time. I really do like that. I'm having a lot of fun. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, I think it grabbed. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, it grabbed. Excellent. All right. Turn that off. Well, now that I know the cranes, it seems like they must have updated the ropes. But they work really well now, so I'll be able to design a better crane for the ships. This is going to be really good. Okay, so you were saying the wheel up. The wheel up. Oh, well, yeah. Nice. Nice. I should put a ladder here, too, or something on the outside, huh? Maybe a jump. All right. Well, I'll leave this door open so I can keep going out here. This is going to be neat. And once they fix the satellite dishes, the RX dishes, if they can give us broader sensitivity with them so they'll function. We'll be able to communicate with the... from Earth, we'll be able to communicate with the space station, which I think would be really sweet if we could have a command center on the planet, and then you have your space station, you can look at the cameras and stuff. And then on the moon, it would make sense that you could communicate with the moon from the space station. But the distances in space are so big, you know. The biggest dish is good to, I think, 600,000. So you could use the space station as a middleman, but the alignment has to be so precise. Yeah. We'll try it. We're going to try. All right, so this is ready. Oh yeah, but I want to put the ropes away. Oh, this is the cab. The cab is too low. Oh, that's good to know. That's got to go up by one. Let's see. Systems. Start. You know, I'm unhooking it. I'm packing up the ropes. I'm putting them back away where they go. You know, that's what you would do, right? If you were doing this, you would just throw the ropes on the ground, would you? Go to space? Probably. He wanted it all to be tidy and organized. All right. Put on the brakes. All right, so we'll close this. Let's see, landing lights. Close. There we go. Okay, we're ready for takeoff now. Get this closed. Get this closed. This area is a bit bigger, so I'll have to recalibrate the CO2 in here. That's fine. Oh yeah, I want to check one more thing. Should be, yeah, it should be good to go. Okay. All right. Oh, they do? Okay. That's good to know, the catalytic converters. Oh. As carbon scrubbers. Also, might be able to recycle the air. That's interesting. I'll have to test that, because if I can do that, then I might be able to recycle the air in here. That would be good. All right, we're ready. I think we're ready. Finally, we're ready for takeoff. All right, systems, fuel pump. Let's do some calibrating first. Let's set this to 5. Let's make sure that's working. Okay. These are gonna need to be set to 9. Thrust power, we're gonna set that to 2, so that's ready to go. And reaction wheel, we don't want those until we're stopped. Alright, stabilizers, take off light. We just got power will be 8. Alright, let's do a quick flap check. Okay, ready to go. Alright, let's take off. Brakes. Let's get out of here. There we go. Now it's going to take off a little bit weird because we have the satellite in there. So the weight of the satellite, it's probably not balanced. So it's throwing the ship off a little bit. But the stabilizers, as you can see, that's how they work. Is they work to oppose that. If I didn't have the stabilizers on the nose, it would just crash. We would go up and crash every single time. So, and that's just the tilt sensors. There's tilt sensors in there, and it just greater than, less than, and then tweak them, and just make sure that you have enough force on there. All right, so we're at 12,000. Here, we'll turn these on just to give it a little help here. Turn those off, fuel pump off. Oh boy. We slowed right down. With the rockets, we lost about 50 meters per second there. Whoops. I guess I was a little low for that. 20,000 feet. Should have let them kick on. There we go. Yeah, so if I didn't have the stabilizers on there, there's no way I'd be able to just sit here and monitor what's going on. So there's our map. So in the center of that map, in theory, you're right, is our GPS, is our space. This is where we are in space. So if I launch the satellite, all I have to do is figure out what the GPS coordinates are of the satellite, and I should be able to find it using this map. It's actually kind of funny, but I hope they don't change it. Oh, see, it changed. It changed. So maybe, I don't think it actually works. I don't think the GPS works. All right, we're in space. We are in space. We're going to continue on for, what's our altitude? Yeah, we'll double that. We'll go 200,000 from the Earth. And then we'll slow down and we'll launch. Nice. So I turn the stabilizers off when I'm... And we'll just do that. We'll turn everything off. This trajectory is not the trajectory you want when you're heading to the moon. We need to go to the top. We need to be on this trajectory to get to the moon. So then when you look at the ship, we're actually flying backwards. We have to fly backwards from here in order to go on top of the moon. Otherwise, we can't fly the other way. If we try and fly the other way, you'll overshoot it and you'll just drift away. All right, so what are we doing here? I'm going to keep my alignment to the moon. Probably the best thing. Cruising, absolutely cruising. Okay, we'll slow down. I'll slow down here. Start slowing down. The slow down burn. This takes a while. This will be like a minute or two burn. Oops. Oh, look at that. We've almost stopped completely. One of these is too much. Or this is going to be a negative. Oh, the noise is the thrusters. I apologize for that. That's the thrusters. This one's 0.5. This one's -8, and this one should be 5. To counter that. Or it should be stronger, maybe 1 to counter that. Now, which way are we going? Spinning just a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm hoping it'll stop. Yeah, we're slowing right down. Good. So now I'm going to need, this is why we'll need infinite fuel. Because eventually I'm going to run, I won't be able to stay stabilized long enough, sadly, to really be able to, you know. Our window of stability is so small. Alright, so what's our velocity? Pretty much Y has the most. So if I wanted to go Y positive, here let's turn on infinite fuel. Infinite fuel. All right. And then, yeah, look, we're slowing right down. But look, our angular velocity on Y, I want to slow that down. So I want to get some direct thrust on Y positive, which should be not roll. Up, down. Left, right is Y. Body Y. A and D. Gotcha. A and D. Okay, so if I turn on, so if I hit A is Y positive. And D is Y negative. Oh, I see that? Neat. Look, it slowed me right down. Ah, right on, right on. Right, that's giving us a blast in the opposite direction. So now we're slowing down there. Now we're pretty much... All right. Thankfully, the audio glitched out for the thrusters, so we don't have to listen to them anymore. Now we're slowing down. Look at that. Angular X is pretty much at 0. Angular Z is coming to 0, essentially. And now it's just angular Y, which is our... that's how fast we're falling back towards... That's gravity at this point, I think, is what that would be. Maybe, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how they measure that, but I think that's what that is. That's how fast we're falling back towards the planet. So I don't know if we can balance that. Let's try to crank this up to 1. And maybe that'll slow that even more. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. So 2 options. Either I upgrade to a bigger rocket and then calibrate it down to try and get that to 0. Or we just say, okay, what's that number? 250-ish? Then whatever we launch, we have to make sure that that value is the same, that angular Y, so it can keep up to us and we don't fly away from it. Well, it's slowly going to 0. Right? We're never going to be at 0, but see, we're just bouncing, which is what we want. Maybe it'll get to 0. Y-axis would be the roll. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, whatever that value is. If it can get to 0, then we can go out into space beside the spaceship, and the spaceship isn't going to fly away on some weird angle. We're not going to watch it fly away. Hopefully, anyways, that's the idea. That's the idea here. So the only way to achieve that is with infinite fuel. I just don't think we can do it with... well, I'm trying. So... but it'll run these to 0 at least. So, we'll know. It's probably as close as it's going to get. That's pretty good. Okay, so that means... ooh. Oh, I didn't turn on any lights. Uh-oh. It's going to be loud for a little bit here. Can I get up there? Oh, it's not going to let me. Oh boy, that is so loud. I didn't turn on any of the interior lights. So I'm just trying to jump up here to... Oh man, what a mistake that was. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Huh. Huh. Well, it's just Stormworks crashed. uh... I wonder if it was the infinite fuel. Oh, man. We're experiencing technical difficulties. It won't let me. It won't let me close. There we go. There we go. Whew. Whew. All right. There you saw it. I think we broke the game. I think I broke the game. Nah, I don't think I saved for takeoff either. Oh, I love it. I love this game. I love it. That's what you get on a Saturday morning, right? Oh, boy. Let's see. Yeah. It's the audio that keeps crashing. It doesn't like the fact that I'm doing that. But how else do you, right? Gravity's constant no matter where you are in space, according to their calculations. So the only way to fight constant gravity is to have constant anti-gravity. So the only way to do that is by setting up that's the system that I have there. And the game just doesn't like it. It doesn't like it. It's the audio. It doesn't like the audio. It's the audio that keeps crashing. So, whatever. If they gave us like, yeah, there is. Yeah, there's gravity even on the moon. It's constant. It's constant in that entire, however they've modeled it, right? It's constant. So that's why when your character gets out of the pilot seat, his feet automatically point towards the Earth, right? So when you're building your spaceship, here we are. When you're, guess this is where I loaded. Take a guess before it loads on the screen. Right, so gravity's a constant, and they don't have. I haven't found a way to. There's no way to calculate the rockets to gravity. There's no way to find that number, that thrust amount. There's no way. You're either giving it too much thrust or not enough thrust. I've never been able to find that 0 point, that PID point, right? Now maybe if I knew how to calibrate a PID, I might be able to use it to find that point, but I have no idea how to. I've tried and I've never been able to do that. That's why when you see in my builds, the way that I test it, instead of using a PID to zero it, I have to do it myself. And the calculations sometimes don't exactly work out. So that's what I've done here. I've just tried to scale it to 0 as best I can, but it's either too much thrust or not enough. And that's just how it is. So the way it is now, it has to pulse so fast in order to give that constant amount of thrust, right? So maybe if the developers could see that, they could figure out a way to, I don't know, help us scale thrust differently. So instead of it being able to pulse, we could actually find that 0 amount and it's constant. And then that way it doesn't have to, the code doesn't have to glitch out with the sound and everything, right? It could give us that constant burn and it would be cool. I'd really like that, but I don't know how they could do that, right? But maybe the PID is the way to go, but I don't know. Whatever they are. Okay, so I just didn't turn the lights on inside, and navigating was a little tough. So maybe before we launch again, we'll have to look at navigating inside. Yeah, if I turned the lights on, it wouldn't have been a big deal. And then I think there's lights. There's the light there, but what's the light for back here? Space and moon. Oh yeah, okay, right, they're down there. Can I reach it from here? No. Oh yeah. Yeah, so basically this is just a setup for the satellite. You can launch modules. That's all this seat was for. So what I need to do is I need to wire in these buttons here to that seat. So we need this one will be door. This one will be lights. This one will be release. Now the door is gonna be all right, and then now we need a way of getting back into here. What I should do is get rid of this window here. And like this. That way maybe I can crawl into here. Put a handle down here. Let's see, then I can open up that door. Put a handle down here. No, there's no way. There's no way. So what I'm doing here is I have a a keypad which adjusts the throttle value. And as you saw, I had it at 1, so full throttle. And then these two buttons here, what they do is they read the altitude. And they say if I'm below the altitude, turn it on, and if I'm above the altitude, turn it off. But it uses a greater than and less than. So it's calibrated to within 0.00001. And that's why it pulses so fast. So you're basically bouncing. You're basically bouncing in space. And when I was there, as you saw, I was looking at these three values here. These are my velocity, X, Y, and Z. The Y velocity, the one we were bouncing on, was slowly going down to zero, But as you saw the other two, you bounce. There's a little bit of a bounce there. So that's why it pulses so fast, because you're bouncing. And there's no way to, I'm basically at the maximum, threshold for these 4 little rockets, right? So I can change them to the medium rockets, but then I have to go all the way back to space, and I have to recalibrate the medium rockets. And then the weight of those 4 rockets is going to change the weight calibration of the ship. As you saw when we launched just the satellite, that was enough to pull the spaceship over to one side. It was almost too heavy for the way I have it calibrated. So I really got to be careful at this point in time. If I do too much more modifying, I'm going to be overweight. It's really interesting. When you start building the spaceships and that, you start playing around with it, you realize like there's a maximum and then that's it. And then once you hit that maximum, you really have to, you hit the next scale. And then once you hit the next scale, you have to do a lot more, right? So unfortunately, it is what it is. No, the throttle has to be at 1. If I set it any lower, we'll start falling back down to Earth. I could use one of these mains. I could try and use one of these mains too. Haven't really played with that yet on the inside. Haven't checked it out yet. I wanted to just get the satellite launched to see if I could launch the satellite and go from there. But it seems to be quite the task. I was like, I'll just launch a satellite into geosynchronous orbit. That would be no big deal, but it's turning out to be a big deal, actually. Well, the main engines, if I turn the main engines on to 0.1, they produce too much thrust. And it'll start shooting me up. Right? What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find that neutral point in space. So I think I found it. And now that I found it, I can tell the developers, hey, look, I found the neutral point in space and I'm having this issue with the rockets. What can we do about it? Because, okay, it's when you send an on signal, it turns on the graphic, it turns on the sound, and it turns on the value. And then when it turns an off signal, it turns off the graphic, it turns off the sound, and it turns off the value. Okay? So when you're pulsing that 1,000,000 times a second, you're going to have issues with it reading the code, and that's what's happening. So if they could delay either when the graphic goes on and off and when the sound goes on and off, then it wouldn't matter that you're pulsing the engine over and over again with the value of thrust, because it wouldn't correlate to the graphics, which is where the problem I think they're having. So if they could slow that down, then it would be more realistic in that the engine is going faster and slower. You could see the pulse on the graphic, you could hear the pulse in the sound, and you wouldn't have the issue. I think that's what's happening. So I don't know. I've played with it enough. I get the exact same result every time, and I think maybe that's what they could do. I'll suggest it. Cool, that works. That's all I come up with. That works. Nice. That is solid. Oh, okay. Only 2 dials. This one doesn't have a backlight. All right, so that'll be the panel backlight. So now we're gonna find a backlight color. Yeah, and then from the seat, I guess we could crawl onto here, and then we'd crawl up into here, right? And then I could grab, oh, maybe. Oh, it did let me do that. Okay, I guess. I don't know. I wonder if it'll let me do that in space. It's too bad. I could just put a hatch there, but maybe I need another ladder there. Let's see. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, I'll definitely have to do some more weight testing here. So then if I open that door, I wonder maybe if, let's see if that door's closed. What if I do this? Do that. Wonder if I could reach this from down there. See if I can get to there at least, then I can get around in here. That might work. I'll save it, check it out. I'm gonna be that close to it to grab it. Oh, probably because I'm in the workbench. That might work. If I can get to there, I'll be that way. If I can get squeezed into there. Maybe that should go the other way. I don't even know. Let's see here. We'll just make it. We'll make it wider. At least if I could fit and almost stand up, maybe. Can't get one there, right? Oh yeah, that works. Cool. That's what'll happen in space. And then this will be closed. Then I'll be here like this. And then I can jump, grab one of that ladder. Go this way. Whoop. Come up here. Ready to go back down to space, down, crash on the planet. Cool. Okay. Well. I guess that'll do it. That's gonna do it. What is that? 3 hours of fun playing around, trying to launch the satellite. I think all the bugs are worked out of the system now, and hopefully the next time we go to space, we will be successful in our endeavor. It's quite a bit, start to finish. So I appreciate your patience, and I thank you all for watching. Thank you all for your interest, liking and subscribing. I hope your weekend is going wonderful. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.